Okay, so I just thought I'd go through a couple of little tips for the homework sheet this week for you. All right, so let's start with question 1 here. The only tip here that I think we need is to remember the formula. So remember circumference equals pi d, or pi times d. Remember here that the radius is half of the diameter. So in this case, we would be doing pi multiplied by, if radius is half, then double 5.5 is going to be 11. So it's pi times 11. All right, moving on to question 2. Calculate the circumference with the following, with a circle with the following radius. So leave your answers in terms of pi. So I'll do the first one just to show what we mean by leaving the answer in terms of pi. So once again, circumference equals pi d. This is saying these are the radiuses, so the circumference is going to be pi multiplied by 6, okay? So that's where you leave it. If you leave it in that term, so I'm trying to type right in a very small space here. There we go, pi 6. So in terms of pi, basically all that means is for A, you just leave it at pi 6. Okay. This one here, this is a good one. Let's have a look. So calculate the approximate value of the radius of a circle, which has a circumference of 150.72. All right, so in this case, circumference equals pi d. In this case, we have the circumference. So I'm going to write in the circumference here, 0.72 equals pi d. Now we know what the value of pi is, so to get d by itself, we're going to bring that over the other side, so it's going to be 150.72 divided by pi. Okay, the answer of that will give us the diameter, and if you want the radius, you obviously need to do half that. So the radius in this case is going to equal whatever the diameter is divided by 2. Okay, and I'll leave you to work that one out. This one here, question 4, we had a look at in class, or one very similar in class the other day. I remember what we're doing here is we're calculating this here and this here as two separate semicircles. So the trick here, remember, was to calculate this semicircle, so pi d divided by 2, which will give us that highlighted part there. Okay, remember in class we talked about this and we separated these as two separate shapes just to help us calculate them two separately. Alright, so we did this one as pi d divided by 2, but the tricky bit was we needed to also add the baseline as well. So this little bit here needed to be added, and this little bit here needed to be added at the end as well. So it was pi d divided by 2 plus that, plus those base bits. Alright, question 5, we did something similar in class as well. Now this one here, the only bit that we discussed that may trick some people up, obviously we've got here the two semicircles, so that makes one full circle, so we're going to do pi d to get the circumference of those arcs there. Now some people talked about, well, wouldn't you then just go ahead and calculate a rectangle? Well, if we're doing area, that might be okay, but in actual fact, because we're doing perimeter here, all we need to do is add these bits here. So if you think this is like a racetrack, you've got these two length bits here. So really what I'm going to find here is, to get the perimeter, I'm going to do pi d, which is my yellow highlighted part, plus the green highlighted part, which is going to be 40 multiplied by 2, because there's two straights there. Okay, so that's really what you're calculating there. All right, question 6. Calculate the area of a circle with the following radius using pi and rounding to 2 decimals. Okay, this one we're doing area, so the key point here, area. So let's remember our formula for area, which is area of a circle equals pi r squared. Really important. It's given us the radius here, so this is going to be pi multiplied by 3 squared. Okay, for that first one. The last question, similar again, use pi as 3.14 to calculate the approximate value of the area of a circle with a radius of 5.5. So that one's going to be area equals pi multiplied by 5.5 squared. Okay, remember the only difference and trick up in this one in B here is asking for the diameter, and in our formula we're using the radius. Okay, so diameter is going to be radius is going to be 3.5. So just remember, very important, Our formulas are super important. So the two formulas we're using in this sheet that we've gone through today, this past week, is circumference or perimeter equals pi times d, the diameter, and area equals pi r squared. Okay, hopefully that helps you get through the homework sheet. All the best.